Underwater, directed by William Eubank. And this is pretty much the first kind of sci-fi-ish, horror-ish splice between the two movies for 2020. The star is Kristen Stewart. We know Kristen Stewart most famously from the Twilight series. And lately, there was another reboot of Charlie's Angels that she was a part of. So she's been quite busy lately. What the story is basically about is this underwater, in the bottom of the ocean base, where they do all these tests and drillings and stuff like that. And apparently, something goes wrong. And this movie actually just cuts right to the chase, pretty much in the beginning of it. You don't even have to. There's no slow crawl or slow towards it. It everything just starts happening almost immediately. You're already in the mess pretty much in the beginning of it, and it actually, to be, if I have to be honest with you, it kind of felt like Aliens a little bit. It had that kind of James Cameron-ish kind of feel, where you kind of don't know what's gonna happen next. Apparently, the whole base is like crumbling in on itself, and Kristen Stewart, her character, tries to find the rest of the crew. She finds 5 other crew members, in which including the captain, and they try to figure out how to get to the next base, which is pretty much 1 mile away on the ocean floor. And they figured that the only way they're going to do that is by getting in these diving suits and kind of walking in the bottom of the ocean to the other base. This skill, none of them pretty much had any experience doing. But what's pretty cool, actually, was the bravery. You see the fear in their eyes, but at the same time, you see the determination to try to really get to their goal. However, there is a problem. There are these creatures in the bottom of the ocean that apparently were awakened pretty much by this, by what they were doing. And they discover these creatures really quick, especially when they're trying to get to the next base. And that's the scary part of this part. Now, was it really scary? I wouldn't think so. It had its jump moments. It had a couple of them. But it wasn't really like horror. It was more like suspense. More like suspense than horror. Because it wasn't just the creatures. It was the water pressure. I mean, we're talking about tons and tons of heavy water on top of you, so you see in this movie pretty early on what that can do. But as they get to as they're trying to make their way to the next base in the bottom of the ocean with these suits on, they make certain stops along the way where they get to take their helmets off, take a break, try to reassess what's going on, what they have lost, who they may have lost, all that kind of stuff. And they, eventually find their way there. However, you get to care about the characters. The characters are very impressionable, especially Kristen Stewart's character, whose name is Nora. In the story, Nora is a girl of conflict and a girl of who've experienced a lot of pain and loss in her life, and in this, I guess she probably took this job in the bottom of the ocean to kind of get away from it all, so to speak. But in truth, it really, that was the very thing that kind of helped her get through it, through the terrible situation they were in. These creatures, though, I have to admit, you don't really see them. They're swimming so fast, and there's like fume, fume, fume. And I kept on thinking to myself, okay, when do we really get to see these monsters? Now, we do get to see these monsters at certain points, really see them for what they are. But it's nothing compared to the ultimate monster they ended up having to face towards the end, which, you'll catch. It's more than just those creatures. There's something even more menacing out there. And they have to face, and Nora has to deal with that at the end, through the film. I thought the movie was very fast-paced from the beginning. It wasn't the best film, but it kept my attention. So I'm gonna give this movie, since I'll put it under the genre of horror. So as a horror and coffee, even though I'm bringing that back in my other channel soon, I'm giving this 2 coffee cups, but not because it was really bad so much. It's just that it doesn't really give you. Look, let me tell you. There have been other movies like this. I think about The Abyss. I think about Deep Star 6. This is kind of like, it goes back to that. It harkens back to that. It's like a callback even. I wouldn't even buy it for my library. I don't think it's a keeper. Something to watch maybe on Netflix if they were to post it up there, or Prime or whatever. I liked it for the most part. I enjoyed it. My wife didn't like it. I liked it. But did you like it? Talk to me. Comment below and share with me your thoughts on Underwater. This is Ralph Perez from Strange Planet. Take care.